Why things are now worse for the North after OBJ, Yar'Adua and Jonathan failed the North. Sheriff said, "It's no longer news that the leader of the peaceful protests in Katsina on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020, Nastura Asher Sharif, has been released after he was arrested in Katsina and taken to Abuja. Sharif and many others were unhappy with the activities of bandits and general insecurity in the north and decided to do something about it. The callous killings in Katsina State, which had continued unabated, triggered the massive protests in which hundreds of youths took to the streets against incessant killings in 7 frontline local government areas in Katsina State. Though a peaceful protest, Sharif was taken to force headquarters in Abuja, where he was interrogated. Sharif's freedom was made possible about 74 hours later by the enormous pressure exerted by the Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG, the Northern Elders Forum, patriotic leaders and elders of the North, among others. Nastura Asher Sharif has become a name in northern Nigeria. He commands respect in many quarters. He was born to an Islamic scholar in Sudawa of Gwale local government area of Kano State on January 1st, 1970. As a child, he lived with his father, from whom he received a rudimentary Islamic education. He had all his education in Kano and started work with the Kano State Ministry of Education in 1988 and was transferred to Dala Local Government Secretariat in 1989 as Sports Secretary. Later, he was seconded to the Social Democratic Party as Deputy Administrative Secretary in 1993 and became personal assistant to the Vice Chairman of Dale Local Government Council in 1995, before retiring to start a private business and to serve as personal assistant to the late Damasani Kano, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Sule until his death. He is now the Chief Executive Officer of Tanira Global Investment. He is married and blessed with 2 sons and 2 daughters. In this interview with Ibrahim Hassan Wuyo, Sharif speaks on his encounter with the police, the real motive behind the protests, and other sundry issues pertaining to the North and Nigeria in general. It's an exciting encounter. Why the struggle against rights violation and banditry instead of enjoying peaceful career in government or in a political office? My career in activism has its roots in history. At a very early age, I was exposed to the Damasani School of Thought, where I received insightful knowledge of the political dynamics of Africa and Nigeria, with a special bias for northern Nigerians. I was trained in contemporary political history, philosophical oratory, and diplomatic communication. It was during this apprenticeship with the Damasani that I would find my true calling as an activist and rights crusader. Through Damasani guidance and mentorship, I acquired the skills to run his own youth organization. Would you say democracy has been good for the North? Ordinarily, I wouldn't want to assess development in terms of regionalism or sectional preference. I would rather, after all these years of our independence existence, Nigeria had blended into our solidly united and prosperous nation. Unfortunately, it has not been so, and here we are, having to assess governments on the basis of our individual regions, sections, ethnicity, and even religion. One cannot therefore fail to note that since the inception of the current dispensation, the northern region had virtually been taken for a rough ride in the tide. In the first 8 years from 1999 to 2007, when President Obasonjo was in power, the North had all its flourishing industries collapsed deliberately, its people removed from top government positions, and its economy and social cohesion generally disrupted. The period between 2007 and 2015, when President Yar'Adua and Jonathan held sway, saw the setting in of the most devastating security situation in the North and a seeming determination to bring the region down on its knees and then achieve some forms of disintegration of the country, while Northerners might have been rendered hopelessly vulnerable. And with the coming of this administration, which the Northern people actively and collectively made possible in the hope for fairer and just deal, things got worse for the region. From its maiden budget in 2016, the administration had set a trend of grossly shortchanging the North, which subsists to that to date. The North had been shortchanged over infrastructure distribution and key government appointments. And to make matters worse, it is having to live with a whole new brand of criminality, in addition to a deepening level of poverty. Thank you for listening to this news. I would say that Sheriff of a truth is fighting for a just cause, but then you are actually fighting for what you feel that you're supposed to fight for, but unknown to you that your fight was actually a fight of ignorance in the sense that you are ignorant of what led to these sufferings that your people, the Northerners, are experiencing. To you, you are actually fighting for a just cause, but I'm telling you now that you are fighting ignorantly because you are unaware of the fact that they actually called for this themselves. They called for this themselves. They invited this suffering to themselves. You understand? They said that they need this suffering, and that is what later came to them. These people are the ones that single-handedly said they want President Buhari, and that they got. And now, in return, instead of him paying them back in good coin, he's now paying them back in a very bad coin. So that is what they requested, and now they are getting it. So whose fault is that? So let them make do with what they planted. You understand? Let them make do with it because they asked for it. You understand what I'm saying? So that is life for you. So I will just say that you try to maintain a very low profile. Now that you have been released, just hold your cool, relax, and allow the sleeping dog to lie. All right? So my viewers, I would like you people to contribute to these facts. Please, your comments are very much important. Don't forget to leave them behind. Click on the subscription buttons as well as bell button to get updated whenever we upload any new videos. Thank you.